God, welcome back.
Hello, hello.
I love when you say hello. And you are the reason that we took this very long hiatus.
I love that we start with fighting words.
No, because you're the who's that guy that wrote Yellowstone?
Taylor Sheridan.
You're the Taylor Sheridan, or isn't he the one that held up Yellowstone production?
No, Kevin Costner did.
No, Kevin Costner wanted to get it done, and there was a delay, and he said, "If you're in a delay, I'm doing other projects." That's why I have a whole.
Is that why they got a big fight?
Yeah, they got in a huge fight because I'm the Kevin Costner here.
Oh, you're the Kevin Costner.
I'm the Kevin Costner. I'm the patriarch.
With your
I'm
stunning good
good-looking.
looks. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I've killed people. And
You've brought them to the train station.
I brought them to the train station. And you're the Taylor Sheridan, very creative. You're the writer. 8 million projects. All of them just kind of the same in a lot of ways. And so, but we're back after a long hiatus. That's good.
We are back. It was a very long hiatus, but we have been very busy with our restaurant, Victoria's Trata Italiano.
Going so good.
Yeah.
Going so
good. We have been very busy with that. So.
But now we will be back. When is this going to go up, Peter? Every what?
So the tentative schedule, we're going to record on Wednesdays and post them on Thursdays, I believe.
Yes.
So you're posting one day after?
So we're going to post it the morning of. So we'll record it and then it'll go up at we'll schedule it to come out at 6 a.m. on Thursday.
So we should get a couple in the can.
We could do that, yeah, definitely.
We'll get a couple in the can because we have a very busy schedule. We have to get some of these.
I already told them what
We have to make them evergreen.
I don't know what that means.
That means it's always relative. Like you could not in this podcast talk about what was like. We're going to talk about some stuff that's not evergreen, but we'll make it evergreen. But if you talk about topical news stories, no one wants to watch that, right? Like no one wants to watch a story about the Tennessee Valley Authority.
I don't even know anything about that.
That's my point. I'll bet you no one does. I bet you Peter doesn't. Peter's pretty well read. And none of you know what the Tennessee Valley Authority is. That's remarkable to me because it reshaped the American landscape.
This is history.
Yeah, that's why it's not evergreen.
I don't want to go. I can't dip my toe into that arena, Vinny.
I'm a little shocked that Peter and Liam don't know about it.
Why?
Well, Liam strikes me as a rather, somewhat, potentially well-educated. Not necessarily educated, but...
Have you seen his Crocs? Have you seen his Crocs?
It's disgusting. It's the first thing I said to him today.
They're all decorated for Star Wars.
It's awful.
Like Cassie used to wear when she was 4.
You know, we shouldn't pick on Liam because he'll end up being a big movie director, and we'll have to watch that jackass at the Oscars one day
with his Crocs.
No, he won't have Crocs. He'll have like Gucci's on. He'll Hollywood up like that. They all do. They're all so full of shit.
Right.
Liam, you think you're Hollywood up?
Oh, I'll keep the Crocs. They'll make it to the red carpet.
Liam,
That part won't change.
I predict that you will Hollywood up and that you'll be wildly successful. And that you will dump on Vicki and I in the future. That's why, as soon as I can, we're going to fire you. So that if it happened down the line, you can say, well, it's because they fired me.
Sure.
Give them a reason.
All this material while it's fresh.
We're not going to fire Peter because there's no chance of Peter being successful. So, Vicki, I'm happy to be back. And I want to move, right? We want to keep the thing moving because we're going to keep the podcast tight. Those of you watching should know we're going to keep them tight. You know what the biggest change in my life has been in the last 4 months since we did this 3 months?
No, what?
It's this damn Apple Watch. I'm addicted to the Apple Watch.
You are.
I am. I just put myself on Do Not Disturb with my watch. I track my sleep. You're not tracking your sleep, which is insanity to me because you wake up every day and bitch about your sleep. And if you tracked it, you'd have something to bitch about. You're nebulous bitching. You don't know.
I actually don't talk about my sleep anymore because Cassie talks about her sleep now. So
it's awful.
I listen to her sleep report every day.
The sleep report is brutal. Now, you know, I'm getting some great sleep.
Yeah, I know.
I never got great sleep, and now I'm getting great sleep. And I know...
It's because you strap a watch. But maybe also you shouldn't... So Vinny discovered yesterday that he has a flashlight on his Apple Watch and then immediately shined it into my pupils. So then I couldn't see. So that was super cool of him and his Apple Watch.
Okay, watch. Turn my flashlight on. I think that is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's actually a decent little flashlight.
Yeah.
Turn my flashlight off. It's a decent little flashlight. This watch, and you know I'm a watch guy. I love watches. I wear this watch a lot. And I could be honest with you, I used to watch people with the Apple Watch and go, you don't need that. And now I'm addicted.
You are addicted.
But I might start wearing 2 watches. I might wear a dress watch on my right wrist. Listen, if
Vinny, you are too much for life sometimes. You just are.
well, who's the rapper with the clock?
MC Hammer.
Flavor Flav.
Oh, Flavor Flav. You're right.
If Flavor Flav can wear a kitchen clock,
And see how good his life has worked out? I mean, he had hits, and now he's just a mess.
is Flavor Flav a mess?
Oh, he's a mess.
So
he was
you-
on a
you-
show with Brigitte Nelson, right? Or was he dating her?
He was dating Bridget Nelson?
No, or were they on some show, like some
Wasn't she-
celebrity show?
He did. He had his own VH1 show for a while called Flavor of Love.
Mm-hmm.
It was all these women got the opportunity to go on a date. It was like a bachelor show.
Oh, okay.
It was to win an opportunity to date Flavor Flav.
Gotcha.
On VH1, Surreal Life and Strange Love.
Okay.
They might have met on that show, it seems.
Okay.
Bridget Nelson.
Yes.
Wasn't she married to Stallone?
I don't think she was married. No, she was never married to Stallone. Wasn't she? She was married to the Russian fighter from Rocky.
He's not very Russian.
I know that, Vinny.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yes, but then she had a baby at 60, I think.
She had a baby at 60?
Yeah, look that up. She had a baby at like 60.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to wear 2 watches. I'm going to get a grill.
How old was she when she had the baby?
Let's see. I'm still
48.
Spouse.
No, she wasn't 48.
It was Mattia Desi was the spouse from Rocky. And then, when did she have that kid?
God, Liam, research. It's the worst podcast ever. So whatever the point is, though, Vicki, I think I can wear 2 watches. I can pull it off. And
You think so?
I'm going to get a grill and a reality show.
Suddenly you're Madonna.
I'm going to date Flavor Flav.
Okay, I like it.
So, all right. So I got to do something that isn't evergreen.
Did you find out one time when she had a baby?
She had one in 1995.
No.
Whatever she was at that point. No one cares.
I need to know now.
54.
54. She was 54 when she had her last baby. Yeah.
That's publicist bullshit. You don't know that for true. You don't know it's true.
She is. She had a baby.
She had a baby. You don't know her age. It's all bullshit. My Wikipedia age is wrong. Someone reported my Wikipedia age. It's incorrect. They say that I was born in 63. I was born in 77. Okay? It's all bullshit.
I like it. The one day we were looking it up and it said, not much is known about Vinny's wife.
About Vinnie's wife.
Yeah, not much is known. I
I-
like
you know,
that.
Vicky has
I
this-
actually, I prefer that.
You have this little chip that you've had where people will say
Vinny's wife.
Vinnie's wife. And
That's what my name is, Vinny's wife.
okay, and that chip bothers you. And
Well, because even in conversation with strangers, you just call me my wife.
what am I supposed to call you?
My name, Vicki.
This is my Vicky? That sounds like
No, you would say this is Vicki, my wife. But you say this is my wife, my
No,
wife.
I always
my
say
wife.
this is my wife, Vicky.
It's fine, whatever.
There's 2 MOs I have. I don't know a lot of names. So I'll say, hey, this is my wife. At which point that's your cue to say, I'm Vicky. So the person I'm talking to, who I don't know, who knows me, says, oh, I'm whatever my name is. And now I know who they are.
Right.
All right. That's the only time I don't say your name. So you should know that. But more importantly, the chip, I used to say to you, people just do that. You don't worry about it. But now the chip is reversed because it's Victoria's. They
Yes.
call me Victoria's
husband.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because it makes you feel good. And B, it allows me to say, yeah, that's okay. But I always say to everybody, Peter, you've heard me say it. Liam, you've never been invited into a close personal area where I'm talking to people I like. But someday you might be, and you'll hear me say it. Vicki and I have been partners forever.
Yeah.
In everything.
Yeah.
And that I tell everyone how we met. Everyone knows the story. No need to drag it out. But the point is, now I'm Vicki's husband, and that doesn't bother you a little bit.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so your chip became your crow. Yeah. Okay. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's interesting, Vinny, because I don't see Vicki mentioned anywhere on your Wikipedia.
Nope.
Right here.
Never.
I don't write my Wikipedia, troublemaker.
Well, anyone edited it, even you.
Your Wikipedia. Your Wikipedia is going to say Liam disappeared mysteriously in March
At the train
of 25.
station.
I do have to say, driving up on the road up to your house, it did feel a little kill shelter.
Yeah.
Liam got a rare invitation into the Bat Cave today.
Yes.
Very rare. Peter said Liam's coming tomorrow.
Yes.
And I like Liam a lot.
Yes.
I like him a lot. Hard worker, good kid. But I had a process for real whether I wanted him in our home. Not because of him, but because not everyone's welcome here. And
Well, that is an interesting thing about you. You are an extremely friendly person.
Right.
When we're out and about, you make friends nonstop. It's actually really annoying because when we're trying to get somewhere, you make friends everywhere.
MPE.
Yes, meet people everywhere.
Make people everywhere.
But when we're in our home, you're closed down. You don't want neighbors. You don't want to talk to anybody.
This is my cocoon. If you're in my home, if you're in my home in any capacity, you're either working here, and Liam is crossing that barrier because he's working here, but he's invited as a colleague-ish type friend.
Gotcha.
And Peter has transcended and become a friend who better do his goddamn job.
Right.
And because I'll fire all aspects of somebody.
Right.
They no longer work for us. They're no longer my friend. You're completely out. So anyway, the point is that Liam came to our inner abode today.
Yes.
Welcome, Liam.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me and my Crocs in. I do appreciate that.
The Crocs annoy me. I hate Crocs on men. There's one man that wears Crocs that if I was large enough, I would strike him, and that's Dan. But I'm not big enough to strike Dan.
Anyway, so let's move on.
Let's move it.
So, the hot topic obviously is Gene Hackman passing.
And that ties into the chip. I'm glad you brought that up. It ties into the chip.
Gene
'Cause
Hackman passing?
I see a chip moment here. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Well, I think that, so Gene Hackman was what, 94, 95 when he passed? 95, right. So he was 95 years old. And so at first they said, Gene Hackman had passed, his wife, who was 63, passed, and one of their dogs. But when they first came out, they just said their dog. They didn't specify that there was actually 2 other dogs in the house. And
Prime suspects.
yeah. So then everyone was speculating carbon monoxide poisoning or carbon dioxide. I don't know the difference between
Monoxide.
monoxide.
Dioxide, I think, keeps you alive.
Dioxide is what you breathe out.
Oh, look at
We
that in
practiced
unison.
that.
Yeah,
I like it.
we rehearsed it.
Yeah, so carbon monoxide poisoning. And then it just came out that his wife was actually in the process of being mummified and her body was bloating.
He was wrapping her up.
No, like when you die and you're there a long time, your body goes through stages. And so she must have been dead, unfortunately, for quite some time. And then they keep sprinkling in about there was prescription pills that were spilled out, and that the dog was dead, and 2 dogs weren't dead, and that Gene Hackman they think he fell in the kitchen because his glasses were like askew or like falling away. But my thing is, it's when you read it and you factor in his age, I think his wife was dead for quite some time, and Gene Hackman just went about his business for a while.
I think the last 5 years of Gene Hackman's life, 5 days were spent saying, "Where's dinner? When's that dinner going to be ready?" And I think it's sad. And I love Gene Hackman.
Right, but at 95, he could have gone about his business for quite some time.
And not realized.
Yes. We have a friend whose parent passed away, and her other parent was in the house. I don't want to say which one. And the one parent called and said, your other parent is still in bed. They haven't gotten up. And at this point, the parent that was in bed always got up at 5 a.m. And now it's 5 p.m. And her parent was just going around his business because that parent was losing its mind, not realizing that.
Who was that?
I'm not going to say, dude.
Can you tell me afterwards?
Yeah, of course. But it was a whole 12 hours because, you get older, sometimes you lose your faculties.
I got to tell you what's even worse.
What?
And it relates back to the chip on the shoulder.
What?
When I heard Gene Hackman died, that's all I heard for 13 or 14 hours. And then I read a headline that said, Gene Hackman dead and his wife. And so, I mean, you talk about
she was
the
a
ultimate,
classic pianist.
Huh?
She's a classic. She was like a classical pianist or something.
Who cares about that? This man was in the French Connection. This man was brilliant and unforgiven. Who cares about a classical pianist? I mean, I'm not saying, listen, if you're a classical pianist, have at it. I'm just saying that doesn't make headlines.
No. But even weirder, he's got 3 adult children from his first marriage, and they're in their late 50s, early 60s. And they claim to be close to their father, but haven't talked to their father or stepmother in months, nor saw them. How close are you then?
You said that to me this morning over a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that unusual. Listen, life just goes on.
And you don't talk to your parents for months?
I haven't talked to my parents in forever.
They're dead.
I haven't exactly dug out the Ouija board. I mean, but even when I was going through a bad divorce.
Yeah.
And I didn't talk to my father, which is why I kind of withdrew because I was embarrassed, whatever, even though he had been divorced. It wasn't a comfortable thing. So I kind of withdrew. And then I went to see my father just a few weeks before he died. But I was never not close to my father.
Right.
I just didn't talk to him for that time period. So everyone has their own reason for not talking every day. All right? And so, but I just think it's even stranger that to me, it's like if Peter and I died in a car crash, the headline would read, Vinnie Brand dead in car crash. And then real small letters, and some guy. That's how it would read.
Right.
And so, no one would even care. And at the wake, they'd be like, who's the other stiff? And you'd have to say, well, that's Peter. He was driving. And
But don't you also think about the 2 other dogs? Like, he must have been feeding the other dogs.
No.
Gene Hackman, no, because...
Well, I think it's interesting because you brought up that maybe the wife died first. I was thinking about it the other way around, where maybe, there are like conspiracy theories out there about like a suicide pact or something. But if this 95-year-old guy dropped dead, and she just couldn't take it, swallowed a bottle of pills, and now because they said the dog that died was in a cage. So
it was in a cage.
Starved to death, more likely than not.
Okay, I got the whole thing solved, and I've not read anything.
You got it.
Here's what happened. Here's exactly what happened. He's a little bit older. And let me say this, utmost respect. I hate when comics try and make jokes right away.
Right.
Gene Hackman, brilliant actor. I'm sure the woman could tickle the ivory like nobody. Here's what happened. He's 95, not necessarily dementiaed out, but maybe a little bit forgetful as we tend to become at 95. She died 5 days. He didn't realize it. The one dog is by Gene all the time. That's his dog.
Well, there was 2 dogs that survived.
Okay, and the 2 dogs that survived, the dog that died was in a cage? Okay, dog's in a cage. Gene Hackman said, hey, something's wrong with my wife. I got to get the car started and go get help. He starts the car. Carbon monoxide kicks up. He doesn't realize it. Him and the cage dog died. The other 2 dogs go, everything's going to die in here, and they bolt it to fresh air. That's it. Close the case.
So, wait a minute. So how long does it take before your body mummifies?
So I hate to throw a wrench in that theory, Vinny, but we might have a bit of an update. So as of reporting today, the investigators involved in the case have said that based off of experience and a toxicology report that could take some time, It could be 3 months or longer until we actually have an answer to any of those questions.
Mm-hmm.
It seems I've actually misread that. I thought that they were saying it was 3 months that the body had been in that state.
Yeah.
That is not the case.
Okay.
So would you pick that monkey wrench up and wrap yourself in the face with it? Because there's no monkey wrench in my
So,
theory
but-
just
Jim
yet.
Winnie's story.
How
That's probably
long-
Exactly what happened.
How long does it take to have a body mummified?
Mummified.
I can answer that. I know just about everything. A body begins the process of mummifying instantly. However, diagnosable or observable mummification begins at 6 days. What's the answer?
Because it said beginning of mummified and bloating.
Bloating begins within. Now, if it's bloating you're talking about, we're talking. This is 24 hours. Bloating begins in 24 hours.
Thank you, Cliff Clavin. Go on.
I'm telling you the answer.
Fucking Cliff Clavin over there. Oh my God.
You tell me I'm not right. How long does it take for the bloating to begin?
The mummification process, several weeks to 6 to 12 months.
No,
For
that's the
bloating,
entire process. When did it begin?
Those are different questions.
Yeah, of course it is. You know what it is, Liam? Already, day one, you're trying to be smarter than me. You're not. You're never going to be. It begins within 6 days. Slight mummification is identifiable within the 6-day to 10-day time period. The body begins to decompose immediately.
Wait, but they didn't say Gene Hackman was mummified or bloating.
No, he was.
The other weird thing, just to throw it in there, there are different reports, but the people who found the body were like these landscapers.
Yeah.
And they, on the 911 call, said the door was locked. But then there was another report that when they got there, the front door was left open.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this weird thing where there's two bodies in the house. One door's locked, one door's open. One dog's dead, two dogs alive.
Right.
Bottle of pills in the bathroom. Like, that's the other thing. She was in the bathroom. So if he's going about his business, like you said, he'd be like stepping over her body.
No, at that age, you have two separate living quarters. Vicki and I are this close to two separate living quarters. Wouldn't you love your own house?
I don't need my own house.
See, you heard this. Okay, when does the mummification process begin?
So that is 6 to 12 months, but the bloating.
No. Mummification begins the process of entering into a fully mummified body.
As soon as you're dead, it's going to start. But I don't have that answer. For your bloating question, I've got 2 to 3 within 7 days.
Within 7 days.
Within 7 days.
Yeah, but it begins. Listen, you got a dead body. You got a dead body.
You know who should we call? The flaggers. They would know.
The flaggers would know.
They own a funeral home.
They would know. But a body breaks down so quickly because the process of living is so involved. There's so many things happening. Cells are shooting around in your brain, not yours, Liam, but other brains. And the thing is that the process, mummification, takes a long time. It's the hardening of all of your organs. So once your organs are not being fed, that process, what they say, begins in that 6 to 10-day time period. It starts and it becomes more and more noticeable. For a body to be hard and calcified, it takes a long time. We learned on the plains in Africa, in the Serengeti. You weren't listening, obviously.
Come on.
Well, because when an animal's dead, first come the lions, then the hyenas, then the birds.
I was listening to it.
Then the hyenas come back and eat the bones.
Yeah.
And then the skull is there.
Right.
And the flies land the eggs, and the whole process of the body disappearing begins with the lion.
So you think the lions were going to go to Gene Hackman's house? How does this relate? How does the Serengeti relate to Gene Hackman and his wife?
This is what's sad to me. Already there's conspiracy theories online. There's nothing odd about a 65-year-old or a 95-year-old having medications. Now, I don't take medication, but I'm a superior physical specimen. And so I don't have medications. There's nothing abnormal. And there's nothing abnormal about a 95-year-old not necessarily recognizing the fact that his spouse has expired.
Right. I mean, it definitely happens. Like if you're 95, you might not realize, you might not go in that bathroom. Time's passing and you might just not realize.
And it could be, Peter's right, maybe it is one bathroom, and at 95, he's stepping over. Listen, we all want to remember Gene Hackman
Right, as a sharp,
Lex
brilliant
Luthor,
guy. Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, Gene Hackman had such an incredible career. So much fun to watch the guy. He's funny when he needs to be funny. Great in the Birdcage. Great in Superman. Love it. Gene Hackman, really, when you think about it, in my estimation, he's one of the greatest American actors. Because not only did he have a great career, the role span is incredible.
Right.
You see him in Unforgiven. You've never seen Unforgiven.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
No. And Unforgiven is one of the greatest movies. Yeah, because you won't watch it with me. You said it's depressing.
I think I did see Unforgiven. It's that Western.
But
The Western?
it is a Western. You've seen 10 minutes of Unforgiven.
I think I've seen it.
You've seen 10 minutes of Unforgiven. You said it was depressing. You saw one episode of Breaking Bad. It's depressing.
No, I saw
And you won't
5
watch-
episodes of Breaking Bad, and it is depressing.
And that's the same reason you won't watch our wedding video. Listen to me.
Also very depressing. No.
But so I think it's, and I love Gene Hackman. Can you remember your favorite Gene Hackman role?
I really liked him in Birdcage.
Great in Birdcage. He's the senator, right?
Who has to go out the window. He's like hiding. He has a whole scandal going in and out of the house in the window. Yeah, no. He was a phenomenal actor. Phenomenal.
I always used to confuse Gene Hackman with, in a weird way, as a young man, Robert Duvall and Gene Hackman used to enter in my mind. And I used to see Gene Hackman in The Godfather, in the role of Tom.
Right.
Tom Hagen. But, of course, that was Robert Duvall. Also great. Is Duvall dead, by the way?
Very.
He did pass, right? Another great actor.
Yeah.
A great actor.
So, but talking about dead bodies.
Yeah.
This leads us to the story of the couple that were on their way to Venice on the airlines Qatar. It's Qatar, right? Is that how you pronounce it? And someone passed away in the aisleway. Apparently, she was quite a large woman.
Large gal.
And they couldn't get her up to business class. So they had to move over and sit next to a corpse. Now.
You mean not, they had to move a couple.
But the couple had to move over and they sat next to a corpse.
Right.
Now, did she pass away she was going to the bathroom?
Yeah, she was coming back from the bathroom, and she collapsed in the aisle.
So, I mean, I get that you can't block the aisleways. That's what they tell you all the time. You just can't block the aisleways. And those long flights, people have to go to the bathroom.
You think they're going to put her on the do not fly list, Vic? Is that what you think?
No, but I'm saying that we own a business. You know, things happen. You don't expect it to happen. And if they couldn't, but what I don't understand is if they were going to put her somewhere up in business class, which those people paid a lot of money for.
It was your only upgrade ever.
But why didn't they move the couple up to business class?
That's part of the brouhaha, is that they did not move the couple. They left them there. And apparently there were open seats that they could have relocated them. Now, Qatar Airlines is notorious for unbelievable customer service.
Right.
I've actually wanted to fly Emirates and Qatar just for the customer service.
Yeah.
And they don't fly where we go. But it's one of my goals. And Qantas. I've always wanted to fly Qantas. I've wanted to fly Qantas, Qatar, and Emirates.
Well, if they had been able to get the woman up to business class, they could have put her in a seat and put like just sunglasses like Weekends and Birdies, but put the eye thing over the eye shade like she was sleeping, so you didn't flip anybody out.
If I'm in business class and you move a corpse next to me, no. They had to move her to the back of the plane and relocate those people. Because also, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be crass, you would take her off you shouldn't have to come off the gangway.
Right.
You would take her off the back of the plane. They should have moved her to the back, closed the back bathroom, made an announcement. Qatar Airlines, what you got to do. Close the back bathroom. Move her to the back. Move anyone around her up to business class or open seats. Everyone on the flight should have gotten a credit for another flight. Because it's traumatic to be... Now, me, you fly me next to a dead person, I'm happy because I don't have to talk. And I don't have to fight for the armrest. I just push her over a bit. And, yeah, she begins the mummification process. I mummify her leaning away. I mean, it wouldn't have weirded me out. I mean, for the first 5 minutes, that'd be weird. I always wonder, if this is my thing. Like, if you touch a dead body, it feels like you can catch that. It feels like you can catch what they have.
What are you, 5? No. But I mean, listen, they definitely made an error, right? By not moving this couple. And perhaps they were panicking. I mean, I know that they're supposed to be professionals. And when this story came out, a bunch of other stories came out and said that it actually happens more frequently than you would imagine.
I bet that
people
happens
die
a lot.
on planes, and then people have to sit next to the dead body.
The
Especially if
Florida-
you're sold out. Where are you going to put a dead body?
The Florida-New York route. Google that for me. The Florida-New York route. The Florida-New York route. I'll bet you in the last 10 years, if they have the stat, it'll be 50 times that happened.
Right.
50 times. Because, it's already a stressful situation. Your heart gives out.
I mean, but listen, here's the other thing, too. I mean, if I'm them as a company, I'm coming out, I'm making a statement, I'm making it right with the people and trying to win over. But, I mean, we have a lot of employees. Sometimes somebody will do something here you say, what in good gracious were you thinking?
But this is a whole crew. And there's got to be a crew chief, a stewardess crew chief who says, or a steward crew chief that says, okay, here's what we're doing.
Well, I mean, I will say in the history of the Stress Factory, thankfully no one's ever passed away during a show, and we made people sit next to that dead body. Because that would be terrible.
I do want people to know, if they're watching, if you do die during a show, there is a no refund policy.
And you still have to pay your check.
You got to pay that check.
You got to pay your check. Yeah.
Open that wallet, see if they're carrying cash. How many people?
So I don't have from Florida to New York specifically, but every year it seems like it's about 300 deaths. It was 302 deaths last year.
Yeah.
And that is down compared to 308 in 2023.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Flying is stressful.
Planes in the air all the time.
Yeah. And if you're in poor health, you can have a heart attack, an embolism.
Listen, I think that you're flying, especially the people that are larger. This girl was larger. She probably had, a heart attack, right?
She had something. But, I mean, I don't know. I think that I would actually feel bad for the staff. And
You do or don't?
I would feel bad.
I think that part of the reason they didn't move them
is because now you're bringing a dead body by children. And if you think that a couple is going to raise hell, wait till you bring a big woman that's dead, that's obviously dead, by a bunch of children, and those parents are going to flip out.
And then you're going to plop that body. I'm telling you right now, the first class customers.
I looked at first class tickets one day when we were going to Australia on these airlines, and they're like $10,000.
10 grand.
10
And
grand.
so you drag a dead body up next to me, and
yeah.
I'm expecting hot cookies and a warm face cloth. I want my money back. And so there's a financial consideration that they made, and then there's a...
Right, because who knows? You're on the very last row in the plane next to the bathroom. You probably got your tickets from Expedia.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
They're hedging their bets. Like, you bought $800 tickets. They bought $10,000 tickets.
Where was this flight from where to where?
It's en route to Venice.
To Venice through Qatar, and was picked up through Melbourne, Australia.
So here's my question for you. You're a stewardess. You're on the plane. Someone drops dead. You got to move the body. Is it icky or not?
No, it's my job.
You putting gloves on?
Yeah, I am putting gloves on.
Why?
I feel like it's just
Catchy. You feel like it's catchy.
Not that it's catchy.
Why would you put gloves on?
I feel like it's a respect thing.
Bullshit. You're putting gloves on because you don't want whatever killed them.
No, I just.
Let me tell you, Peter, you putting gloves on?
There's no way I would touch that corpse.
Without gloves.
If you're a death on a plane, I'm thinking Ebola. I'm thinking this is the start of, this is patient 0 of something terrible that's about to happen.
Peter went
No
a
way.
whole nother level of
He did.
maniacal. That's insanity.
I need a beekeeper suit.
Listen, if it's Ebola on the plane, first of all, Ebola is marked by a loosening of bodily fluids through the skin, through everything. So you'd know Ebola. You would know that. And if that were Ebola, the best thing you could do is slap it on like aftershave because you're getting it anyway. And your only hope is that your body's immune system goes, man, we're pummeled with Ebola. Let's fight this. Or you die quick because Ebola is not a pleasant death at all. Now, I'm telling you, would you touch the body, Liam?
I'm sooner opening the plane door than I am touching that body.
Suddenly, Liam's DB Cooper.
Yeah. We'd like to apologize. Our employees sucked 400 people to their death rather than touch the
I don't know. I did feel bad for these because you have to make a decision. So I'm going to tell a story, but I don't know if it's the right story to tell. So
already it is.
On New Year's Eve, so we have a handicap lift. And it goes down.
Are you going to say that you don't touch handicapped people too?
No, jerk.
Just making sure.
So we didn't know. Generally speaking, when someone's coming in a wheelchair, they'll call ahead of time and say, I have someone in my party that's in a wheelchair. And then we say, okay, great. And we say, where would you like to sit? Because we try to accommodate where someone wants to sit. If they want to sit closer to the bathroom, if they want to sit closer to the stage, where would you like to sit? And we'll make it happen for you. So they told us where they wanted to sit. They wanted to sit in the section closest to the wheelchair lift. That's where they wanted to sit. So we said, great. On New Year's Eve, for the first time ever, no joke, we had 6 different parties with people in wheelchairs. And so literally, but we didn't know about the other parties. So when you came down the wheelchair lift, there was all of these parties in the wheelchairs. And it was like a row of wheelchairs.
Looked like a race.
But we didn't know. And so we were scrambling to accommodate everyone and make everyone happy. A woman came 45 minutes late to the show with her her son. They've driven from Philadelphia. And she's in a wheelchair. And she's a heavy woman. And we have nowhere to seat her. 0 place to seat her. And I say to the son, we'll get staff. We'll carry her down the stairs. And he's like, there's no way I can carry my mom. So I said, okay. And so Patty and I, quick thinking, we made her table in the wheelchair lift, got him a table and a chair. Didn't you see them?
You sat them.
Yes. Didn't you see them?
Holy.
Yeah, I believe I waited on them.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, we had to do it. We had to do it. I had 300 other customers. What was I going to do?
And they were so nice about
They
it.
were
too.
so
They
nice.
They were very glad
Yes.
to be accommodated.
I can't even. I just want you to know that if a staff member did that, I'd fire them. I'd be like, you're fired.
We had nowhere else to do it. And so I couldn't move all the people down below. It's 45 minutes into the show.
That's amazing.
There was nowhere else for her to go.
Was she happy?
She was thrilled.
You put a table.
I put a table.
In
I
the
carried
lift.
a table.
You waited on them in the lift.
Yes. We put a table, a high chair, like it was a high top table with a chair. And then I said, don't worry about the minimum. Whatever they get, they get. Yeah.
2 lemonades, curly fries, and a quesadilla.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God. And did you operate the lift and like when you're bringing the food, say your food's coming right up and then go up?
Vinny, that's terrible. But my point is sometimes you have to make those quick decisions and you have to make the best of it. So that staff was trying to make the best of it.
So we have a guy, wheelchair Tom, comes in all the time.
Right.
And very nice guy. and he's got some issues financially. I've treated him to a couple shows. Real nice guy. The first time I ever said to him, he came down. I said, "Tom, where would you like to sit?" And he goes, "I sit everywhere." He's saying he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I sit everywhere.
Oh, that's fine.
And it was just, it was great. He's got a great attitude about it. But that, I did not know.
Well, it was a busy night. The restaurant was packed. The club was packed. But it was a decision we had to make on the fly. And the son couldn't carry the mother down. There was no...
she was large.
She was. And there was no way to move all the parties down below because you're 45 minutes into the show. So now I have to hedge my bets, either upsetting 2 people or trying to make 2 people happy or upsetting a lot of people. And so that's what they did. They hedged their bets. I'm going to make 2 people unhappy sitting next to a dead body as opposed to dragging a dead body past who knows how many children were on that flight. And listen, you're an adult. Like, people die. It's the circle of life.
Yeah, what are you going to do? They could have weekended Bernie's the whole thing and just had her around the shoulder and waving.
But also, I mean, that couple probably witnessed her collapse. I would imagine they witnessed her collapse. You're at the back of the plane, right next to the bathroom.
I wonder if she was sat in those seats initially.
No, it said the seats were open.
So they just sat her. Could you imagine seeing that? And then you'd say to your
I
girlfriend,
love the fact they asked him to move over, though. That, to me, is the hilarious part. Can you scooch?
I would have said no. I would have said, "This is my seat. This is where I'm sitting." I would have said no. Or I would have held out for they had to have gotten something.
It seemed, listen, we get reviews, right? And when you talk to the customer sometimes, and we love our customers, we do. We bend over backwards. But sometimes the exaggeration of what actually happened is pretty big.
You know what's funny is there's someone's reading their review right now. Some business person going, "Yeah, someone died." Okay, because everyone does exaggerate in the reviews.
They do because I mean, somebody said just recently that they were angry that they came at 5:50 for their 6 o'clock reservation and they weren't sat till 7 o'clock. Now with modern technology, we easily, because then they listed what they had in the review, and the review essentially laid out where they sat, what they ate, and they were complaining about everything.
They complained about everything.
So I literally looked it up, and it's just a falsehood because I could see their table was opened at 6:20. So if your table was opened at 6:20 and you were sat, that means you were probably sat at 6:10 and a menu was handed to you. Water was put down. Bread was put down. There was chit-chatting. And then because you don't immediately sit down and go, "I'd like a shrimp scampi," 6:20 the table. It's just people exaggerate. Particularly when they're upset.
It's interesting because I'm reading Peter's notes on this. And 2 things stand out: that Peter's complete inability to make this note fun. And the second thing that stands out is they were trying to wheel her into first class. That's where they were trying to get her.
Yeah, they couldn't get her.
Wow.
So that means you would have had to shove her past people because, a dead body is rigid. There's no helping. And so could you imagine bringing a dead body past?
No.
With all those children? So they hedged their bets and they tried to do what, the best that they could do.
The last thing we have to talk about.
Yeah.
And we're going to close this topic with the following.
Yeah.
If Qatar Airlines, and this is something we should offer them, if they want to fly us somewhere for free, we will give them a 5-star review.
Yes.
Even if they plop a dead body next to me. Because if they
would not bother me.
Well, would the dead body bother you?
No, because I think that, my heart would have broke for that poor woman who died on the flight.
You're so sweet.
I would be more concerned because it's not a way that you want to go out. And, to sit and complain.
How do you want to go? No one wants to go anyway.
No, I'd want to go in my sleep in my own bed. That's how I want to go. You've never thought about it?
I can definitely arrange that.
No, that's the best way to go. To not wake up. You're in your bed.
I've thought about it a million times. I know how I want to go.
How?
I'd like to go very old, like 105, 110 years old, doing something amazing. Like, you know, whether it was skiing, skydiving, I want to go out hard, old, and on the way down, I want my last words to be, what a jip. That's what I want.
What a
Like,
jip.
just because I don't want it in my sleep.
I do.
Going in your sleep, like if you're going to go that way, you have to end every day with a complete accounting and bridge repair of everybody, right? In other words, if I'm going to go in my sleep, I have to call everyone and say, hey, I'm sorry I did this, sorry I did that, just in case tonight. If I go skydiving, people forgive you. Wow, he was probably going to apologize, but the chute didn't open. In your sleep, I just, you know.
I don't know. I disagree.
So you're gonna kiss everyone goodnight and not wake up?
Yeah.
No, it's awful. It's sad.
No, my mom and I talk about it all the time.
Who?
My mom and I.
I want to
My
go.
mom always says it's the best way. It's the best way. You're not, you know, you don't know what's coming. You go to bed and you just don't wake up.
That's you remind me of one of my favorite all-time jokes. Stephen Wright.
Mm-hmm.
I want to die peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather. Like my grandfather did. Not screaming in horror like his passengers. It's one of my favorite jokes. How do you want to go, Peter?
We can start wrapping up now.
No.
We're at.
How do you want to die?
I guess Peter wants to die now. Wrap it up.
I don't know.
Peter's too
I'm
young to
such a
think
young
about
guy.
it.
He's too young to think about
He's
it.
too
Yeah.
young to think
A
about
man
it.
of your stature, you got to start thinking about these things. I've got a long.
You hope you do.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Listen,
I imagine I'd probably be in the passenger seat of your car on the way back from Bridgeport. I think that's how I want to go. I think, yeah.
It's fitting.
Yeah.
Did you see me get
looking
mad?
out my
You saw
passenger
me get-
window?
you saw-
Derek is T-boning us.
you saw me get mad one time in Bridgeport.
I've seen everyone get mad in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you want to go, Liam?
It's funny. I'm actually a cross between the two of you. I want to die at 95 asleep being shot out of a cannon.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that. It's very specific.
That's an interesting way to go.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're asleep.
And then all of a sudden you're not. And you're just.
Right.
You know, it's funny because, like, I don't think about dying, but I think about my time.
Yeah.
I don't want to piss away any time.
No.
And I say it all the time, like, I don't want. That's why at the businesses now, I've got no time for people that aren't doing exactly what I want them to do and what you want them to do. I got no time for it.
We know.
I want to get rid of them because we hung on to that one employee forever who was a complete shitbird. Now that individual is gone. That individual left. And what the part that bothered me, that individual left. Like they chose. I told someone last
No,
night.
they didn't choose.
Well,
They couldn't.
in a way.
Not necessarily. I was the one that said, if this person is not in the building by 4:00, this person no longer has a job.
Well, let me tell you what I did last night.
So that person had to be in the building by 4:00.
Right.
And at 4:01, that person was terminated.
Right, but you know that I had been begging.
Yes.
I did not.
Well,
let
that's
that-
why I didn't give any wiggle room. That's why I gave the 4:00
We gave him
deadline.
8 months of wiggle room. I wanted that person gone 8 months ago. Let me tell you what I did last night. You're going to get mad at me.
Probably.
I talked to a server at Victoria's, and I said, tell me about the wine.
Mm-hmm.
And know that before you answer the question, your job's on the line.
Okay.
He knew everything. He goes, you're going to be really proud of me. And he knew everything. But the point is,
Jacob wasn't in last night, so.
it was Jonah.
Oh, okay, good.
It was Jonah.
Because Jacob's the one that really, he does his due diligence.
Jacob is aces.
Well, it was funny. So I was talking to a customer recently, and Jacob is a former football player, for those that don't know. And she was telling me, she's like, the 7-foot guy, he really knew his stuff, that 7-foot guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
I walked in and can I tell a story about yesterday? I can.
Don't say who it is.
I won't say who it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to we'll say that another time.
Yeah,
But
say
this
it,
is
yeah.
the thing. This is the thing. Okay, so I talked to Peter saw me do it. I talked to 3 people last week, and I said, you're not moving fast enough. And one of them said, with all due respect, I think I'm moving fast enough. And I said, stop. Right? I said, stop. Don't disrespect for yourself. By telling yourself you're meeting my standard, you're not.
Right.
And you're not going to work here if you don't meet my standard. I don't care what you think about what you're doing. I'm telling you the standard, and you're going to. And I said to him, that's like a quarterback throwing an interception during the game, and the coach goes, you're benched. And he goes, with all due respect, I think the ball was spiraling nicely. It doesn't matter what you think.
That same individual has been angling to move from food runner to server. And you guys have lucked out. I have never made you guys do this, but the staff at Victoria's has to take tests a lot, and they have to know the menu inside and out.
Both these guys would pass the test.
Yes, they would.
Liam was instantly a hard worker.
Yes.
Peter was instantly a hard worker. Liam instantly fit in as a worker. He did not like me initially, which was fine. I didn't care.
No.
He was very judgmental. He thought I was harsh. And he was, am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
You're using the past tense like it's changed.
I appreciate honesty.
No, I don't know where he's getting any of this from.
You didn't like me.
No, I love you. What are you talking about?
I think Liam didn't like me. Peter, did Liam like me right away?
No, he's right. He still doesn't like you.
No.
Yeah.
And
But
what-
you can be abrasive.
I'm going to tell you, I was upset with someone last night, and I said, that doesn't work for me at the comedy club. Listen, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Okay, and I tell the smart servers this all the time. The best thing is you don't have to think, you have to execute. Now, that does not mean I don't want you to think. I want you to execute and think when you have to. What makes Patrick Mahomes one of the greatest quarterbacks ever is he executes well and he thinks when he has to.
Right.
So here's a guy that can drop back, throw the pattern, hit the right where it needs to be, and when everything falls to shit, he can scramble and make a play out of nothing. That's what you want.
You know, I really would like to see you in a postal suit. You remind me so much of Cliff Clavin.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I will be your Cliff Clavin.
The plethora of knowledge that just spews out of your mouth. It's crazy.
Listen, this isn't even knowledge. This is just me saying, we want it this way. I no longer want to accept it any other way. All right, so this is a fun. How long are we right here?
Very long.
52.
53.
I was right. That's in my mental. That's just me. And you know what happened? In my brain,
You didn't even look at your Apple Watch.
I did not look at my watch. I cut out Liam's unnecessary horse shit, which was exactly 1 minute long.
Yeah.
And I figured we're gonna edit that, and so we're gonna be at 52.
Yeah.
Listen, we hope you keep tuning in.
Yeah.
And that's it. We're gonna be up when with this?
We're gonna start it on the correct schedule, so it's gonna come out next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay, day before my big show at the State Theater.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you.
Last minute. Do you want to do a plug for that? Last minute.
Yeah,
tickets?
but I want to cut the plug out on the 10th. You know, in other words, if we put it up,
Well, it'll just be like,
It
hey,
just-
if you're in the area.
why don't we just say good night? Please keep tuning in.
Yeah, or
and
good
then
day.
and then let's shoot a promo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'll scooch. All right. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.